and still as fast as lightning.
Yeah, the power that he possesses, but it's not a thumping power. It's that explosive speed, that explosive power, the footwork he gets in position. And all of a sudden he's landed 3, 4, 5 shots and then he's angled off. A lot like I did in my fight against Lopez.
I have very fast. Yeah, it's a competition. It's a very strong guy.
He's out a big crowd, doesn't he? He's an absolute superstar in world boxing. And this was another exquisite performance.
Joe Rogan called him a legend. Mike Tyson called him a monster. Even Usyk smiled when his name was mentioned. But what Naoya Inoue did to Alan Picasso shocked the entire boxing world, and the numbers tell a story you won't believe. Joe Rogan reacted live to Naoya Inoue versus Alan Picasso and instantly called Inoue a true legend of boxing. Rogan was amazed by how fast Inoue's footwork is and how smoothly he moves in and out of range. He pointed out that Inoue's power is unreal for this weight class and said it is something you rarely ever see. According to Rogan, Inoue perfectly mixes speed, accuracy, and strength, making him one of the most complete fighters in the sport today.
And I was so excited. Yeah, he's a legend of the sport.
He is a legend, and he's such an unusual guy. You know what's crazy about him is his calves.
Yeah,
when you look
massive.
At that.
When Oleksandr Usyk was asked about Naoya Inoue's performance against Alan Picasso, his reaction showed real respect. Usyk paused for a moment, smiled, and then praised Inoue's speed and calm presence inside the ring. He clearly said, "I like Na," and explained how quickly Inoue moves and reacts to everything. Usyk also mentioned that even though Inoue fights in lighter divisions, his power is very real. He said Inoue's balance, speed, and strength make him dangerous at all times, showing how elite fighters instantly recognize greatness.
Here, the unified heavyweight champ of the world, Oleksandr Usyk. Oleksandr, you're watching another pound-for-pound fighter in Inoue. Have you been impressed with his performance so far?
Yeah, I like this is show Nagatani fight great with Mexican guy Inoue. I happy.
What do you think Inoue needs to do to get the stoppage?
I not think about this. I just watch fight. Maybe Inoue next fight going up. Maybe, I don't know. I think it's normal. Because Inoue have very fast. Yeah, it's a competition.
The boxing world exploded with reactions after Naoya Inoue's dominant performance against Alan Picasso. Social media was full of highlights, breakdowns, and praise for Inoue's aggressive yet controlled fighting style. Boxing analyst Henry broke the fight down tactically and noted that Picasso came in with a high guard to protect his chin. However, his elbows were pushed too far forward, leaving his body open. Inoue immediately took advantage of this weakness. His fast lead hand and sharp timing allowed him to land powerful body shots while staying unpredictable. The difference in power was obvious, as Inoue's punches had real impact while Picasso's shots did not. Henry explained that Inoue's mix of offense and defense kept him in full control from start to finish.
Men get into the ring, the first thing that I noticed straight away was Picasso was carrying an incredibly high guard, defensively keeping his gloves very, very high, trying to protect his chin. And one thing I'll say in general about Picasso in this fight is that his defensive awareness was very, very impressive. He very rarely dropped his hands after he threw a shot. His discipline was incredibly good. But the problem with that is that sometimes it leaves a lack of room for creativity with fighters. Yes, it's important to be defensively disciplined, but if you continue to give the same look over and over again, you're never ever going to beat a guy like Inoue. The first thing I said at the beginning of my live about this guy was I looked at him and I went, his elbows are incredibly flared. You know, he had the high guard, but his elbows was very, very far forwards, which instantly made me think he's giving the body to Inoue. He's offering it to him. Now, that can sometimes be done because it's to create counter-punching opportunities, but in this instance, I think it was just that he was so concerned about protecting his head, about not getting knocked out with a shot to the head, that the body was there all night for Inoue, and Inoue took it. He took the invitation, and he constantly stabbed to the body of Picasso, and in fact, I'd say that this fight kind of was a story of the body shots in many ways. Picasso, like Inoue, had most of his success to the body. The left hook in particular was a money shot for Picasso, but the difference between these two men was so obvious to see when they were standing in the pocket and they were exchanging left hooks in particular to the body. The impact of Inoue's shots was totally different from Picasso's. It was like Picasso had cushions, pillows inside his gloves, and Inoue had a bloody egg weight. It was damaging, it was vicious, and Picasso simply couldn't hang in the pocket for long periods of time with Inoue. I mentioned the lead hand of Inoue there to the body, but the lead hand of Inoue in general in this fight was incredible to see. I mean, the sharpness, the speed on it, the different levels that he throws it from, it's unbelievably unpredictable and difficult to read as a shot, and it allows him to control fights. One thing that I've noticed about Inoue, having watched him for a little while now, and something I think he definitely does on purpose, is he lowers himself to the level of what's in front of him at times, because he wants you to open up so he can counter you and land large shots on you, ones that you don't see coming, so that he can knock you out. He's good enough to be able to do that and keep himself safe at the same time. What was testament to this was Inoue's movement is exquisite, it's exceptional. There were moments when he was using that jab that I just mentioned, dancing around the ring, using that lateral movement, popping the head of Picasso regularly, easily landing on him with that jab. I mean, Picasso was forced to keep a high guard at all times because the power of Inoue is so good that even when he's in motion, he will hurt you. But the testament to this idea that Inoue will lower himself to what's in front of him is that there was moments where
Mike Tyson also shared his thoughts on Naoya Inoue and showed massive respect. Tyson called Inoue a monster and said he is faster, stronger, and more precise than many champions he has watched over the years. He even claimed that Inoue is better than Manny Pacquiao was in his prime. Tyson highlighted Inoue's power, footwork, and ring intelligence as unmatched in his division. Praise like this from a legend proves how special Inoue truly is.
This young fighter called the Monster. You ever hear Monster?
No.
Japanese fighter called Monster. This is a Monster.
Crazy dude.
The mean son of a... Oh yeah, you gotta see this bad motherfucker. Don't look like money. He's better than Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao was good like that. Just as good.
He looks like a fucking pop star.
Oh, wait till he get on these.
The most efficient hunting machine in all of boxing.
He's vicious. That's a bad guy he beat too. Broke him down. Ooh.
118?
Yeah, and
who the hell fights in that division?
Bantamweights.
Yeah, but who?
Some bad motherfuckers. Yeah, some kill.
Paulie Malignaggi gave his opinion on what could be next for Naoya Inoue after the Alan Picasso fight. He said Inoue's dominance was clear and future opponents, like Nakatani, would need to respect his power even more. Malignaggi pointed out that Inoue went the full 12 rounds with Picasso, showing incredible stamina and consistency. He also noticed that Inoue may have been holding back his right hand slightly, possibly due to a small issue, though nothing was confirmed. Even so, Inoue stayed in control and won the fight clearly. Malignaggi explained that Inoue's speed, power, and ring IQ make him a very difficult challenge for anyone.
That I was picking Nakatani or Inoue yet. I really hadn't made up my mind who would win between them. I thought it was a good fight anyway. I don't think it's an easy fight to pick, but I do think that I do think that it's a completely different style. You're going to see Inoue fight with Nakatani than you did Hernandez today. You know, I thought Nakatani did a solid job of, again, getting off those good punches, hard punches. It was just he couldn't get the respect, and that's something that will lead you to think some things going into the Inoue fight. But remember, Inoue does get hurt. Inoue has been down at this weight class, so you know, you land those hard shots, clean hard shots like that on Inoue. I think he's gonna have to respect that power of Nakatani, more so than Hernandez did today. Naoya Inoue took on David Picasso in another surprising result, in that this one also went the distance. Can you imagine Nakatani and Inoue both going the distance? Would have been crazy odds if you're a gambler. But Inoue won the fight going away. I don't know. He didn't get asked the question in the post-fight interview, but to me it seemed like Inoue's right hand may have been bothering him. Again, just assuming here because we didn't get any confirmation. It's not like the post-fight interview or the broadcast ever actually brought out something that was obvious, which was that Inoue was actually not throwing his right hand many times when he could have. Was going left hand heavy. Even when he had Picasso up against the ropes a lot of times, he didn't throw the right hand or barely throw a right hand. So I'm not quite sure that, you know, just my assumption, but I'm not quite sure that anyway he had not heard, at least heard or tweaked his right hand in this fight, and that might be why David Picasso was able to go the distance. But also Picasso did some crafty, clever things, made himself a moving target even when he was standing still. A lot of up and down rotational movement. hip and up and down change of level movement when he was stuck up against the ropes, and when he was in front of Inoue. So Inoue couldn't get to him too clean. When he got stuck against the ropes, also he made himself a small target by staying low. He would change the level by going up and then back down. Just things that, weren't giving Inoue any threat to lose the fight, but they were giving Inoue problems as far as tracking him down and getting to him cleanly. Inoue was going to the body very, very well. I thought Picasso took some really tremendous body shots, and you got to credit him.
The Ring magazine posted on X that Naoya Inoue had doubled Alan Picasso in punches landed after 6 rounds, according to CompuBox. This stat showed just how dominant Inoue was during the fight. The numbers prove that Inoue controlled the action with pressure, accuracy, and high volume, while Picasso struggled to keep up. Analyst Liam Goff also praised Inoue, calling him one of the most dangerous fighters in the world today. He noted that Inoue has now gone back-to-back 12-round fights for the first time in his career, proving his stamina at the highest level. Goff also praised the event in Saudi Arabia, mentioning the unique atmosphere and traditional music, saying it felt fresh and different from typical boxing shows.
Back-to-back 12 rounds, as in 12-round decisions. Apparently that's never, and judging by how formidable he is offensively and how good he is, it's easy to see why, if that is in fact the case. This fight right here, Alan Picasso came in confident, and you could see it in his approach to the ring. Inoue stoic, and I did like it was different. The way when you're going to the minute rest and they normally just play whatever. They were playing kind of samurai music, like Japanese, and I quite liked it. It was quite nice actually. And you're listening to that and you're thinking, actually, I'd rather listen to this than listen to, some of the crap that they play, on most shows in the UK and US during the 1 minute rests. I quite enjoyed it. The whole show as a whole, I enjoy it. I liked the setting. It was actually I really enjoyed it actually. I have to say I really did. It's a really good show. More of them, please. I really like the Asian kind of team in Saudi Arabia. But this fight itself, right? So first round starts, Inoue tends to, he can be a quick starter at times. And we've seen that. We certainly have in first rounds and stuff like that, but not a crazy amount of first round stoppages. If I think off the top of my head, he stopped, I can't remember the guy's name, in a round. I remember that was in the World Boxing Super Series a couple of years ago, many years ago now. But he's not really one for going out there and just blasting you out in a round. He might hurt, he might drop you in the first round, but he normally carries you at least into the second or third round at least. And he was not really doing much in the first round, Naoya Inoue. But straight off the bat, you could see that Picasso, he did the high guard, and kept the high guard. He tried to punch with Inoue, which is something that you can actually do. It's very risky, because Inoue will also punch with you, and Inoue's hand speed, foot speed.
Naoya Inoue is now the undisputed super bantamweight champion, holding all 4 major titles, WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO. In 2025, he had an incredible year, fighting 4 times and winning every fight while staying undisputed. He knocked out Yi Jun Kim, stopped Ramon Cardenas by TKO, defeated Murajan Akhmadaliyev by unanimous decision, and then dominated Alan Picasso. These wins clearly show Inoue's speed, power, and technical skill. He ends the year as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in boxing and continues to prove why he is at the top of the sport.
Inoue dominates Alan Picasso, wins every single round, and he defends his undisputed super bantamweight title 4 times in 2025. And this is just a very sharp clinic from Inoue. Using that jab really well to maintain distance, set up his combinations. He's landing that thudding left hook to the body, doing some really good body work. He's landing right hooks up top, 3-4 punch combinations. And Picasso, he didn't really have much of an answer. Occasionally he'd land a jab with a straight right hand, but for the most part, Inoue is just running through him. And Inoue has a great argument to end the year as the new pound-for-pound #1. Now that Crawford retired, it's either him or Usyk, but Usyk is no longer undisputed, only had 1 fight this year, whereas Inoue, he had 4 undisputed fights, and he's steamrolling the competition. And with this win, and Nakatani also winning, it seems like we're going to get Naoya Inoue versus Junta Nakatani next, May 3rd in the Tokyo Dome. This fight is already agreed, and Inoue said the Japanese fans can expect a big spectacle. And Nakatani, he didn't have the best performance today, got pushed to a big test, whereas Inoue, he looked very dominant. So I think it's safe to say that Inoue will probably win the fight at this point. But still, this will be the biggest